Oh, man, I just dropped something. This is 0697. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay, that goes with this one, right?
Yes.
Oh, I just put all of these over here.
No, the forfeiture goes with the.
Right. With this one.
Mhm.
Okay, here we go. Let's go. Let's do this. Okay. Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session in 2 cases. Those cases are cause numbers 24-CCCR 0632 and cause number 24-CCCR 0697. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Desron Jameer
Yes, sir.
Roberts. Mr. Roberts, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Roberts, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Roberts, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I swear.
Mr. Roberts, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Roberts?
Seen better days.
And you've seen worse days too, I'm sure. Yeah, so,
Worse than this.
yeah, okay. Well, hopefully it get better.
It will.
All right. Now, Mr. Roberts, you are represented in this case by your attorney, or in these cases, by your attorney, Nathan Reynolds. Mr. Reynolds, do you waive a record in Mr. Roberts' cases?
So wait, Judge.
Mr. Roberts, in cause number 24-CCCR 0632, I have before me a document that is titled information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, Mr. Roberts, it alleges that you, Desron Jameer Roberts, on or about December 4th of 2023, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of unlawfully carrying a weapon. Mr. Roberts, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Roberts, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
Now, you're pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes.
Mr. Roberts, I also have before me a document that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishments. Do you recognize this document? Oh, you need to see that? Show him this here document. You can keep that down. Mr. Roberts, do you recognize that document? On page 2 of that same document, there's a signature on a line next to a box that says guilty. Is that your signature?
Yes.
On page 3 of on page 3 of that same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes.
And on the next document, do you recognize that document? Trial court certification to defendant's right of appeal.
Yes.
And is that your signature above the line that's titled defendant?
Yes.
At the top of that document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
The next box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement? And I also I just handed your attorney a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize that document?
Yes, sir.
And is that your signature on the line that is titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Roberts, before you signed and initialed all of these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Mhm.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Mr. Roberts, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, would you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1 into evidence?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections?
No objection, states one.
No objection. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Reynolds, you've advised and counseled Mr. Roberts, is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
None to my knowledge.
And Mr. Roberts, your attorney, Mr. Reynolds, has advised and counseled you Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided fully effective and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Roberts, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I also find that your pleas and waivers are freely and voluntarily given. I also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
In exchange for defendant's plea of guilty, the state is offering 20 days time served to tax and retire court costs along with forfeiture of the weapon. And this is running current with calls 24 CCR 0697.
Mr. Roberts, the state is offering that you serve 20 days in Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail because you've already served 20 days in the Jefferson County Jail. The court costs in this case will be taxed and retired, which means that you will not have to pay the court costs because the time that you spent in jail has already paid it off. Therefore, the court costs will be taxed and retired. I also have before me a motion to forfeit the weapon in this case to the Beaumont Police Department. Mr. Roberts, do you recognize that motion to forfeit?
Yes, sir.
And is that your signature on the document that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Roberts, before you sign that document, did your attorney go over that document with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you understand everything that he went over?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in that document true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Roberts. I will, now you want the court to grant this motion to forfeit the weapon in this case to the Beaumont Police Department?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Roberts, the court is going to grant this motion to forfeit the weapon to the Beaumont Police Department. And Mr. Roberts, this case will also run concurrent with cause number 24 CCCR 0697. Mr. Roberts, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Roberts, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Roberts, we will move to your next case. Your next case is cause number 24 CCCR 0697. And in this case, Mr. Roberts, I have before me a document that is titled information. And this information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that you, Desron Jameer Roberts, on or about December 4th of 2023, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed, hold on a minute. That you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 2A, less than or equal to 2 ounces. Mr. Roberts, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, and no contest.
Guilty.
Now, you're pleading guilty freely and voluntarily,
Yes, sir.
and are you pleading guilty because you are guilty? Mr. Roberts, I also have before me a document that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishment. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
At the top of this document, there is, well, on page 2 of the same document, there's a signature on the line that's titled, next to the box that's checked guilty. Did you place your signature on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. I wonder if you can see this. And is that your signature on page 3 of that document?
Yes, sir.
On the next page, on the next document, that's titled trial court certification to defendant's right of appeal. Do you recognize that document?
Yes, sir.
And is that your signature on the line that is titled defendant? And at the top of that document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
And your attorney is handing you has just set a document before you on paper that is titled discovery certification. Do you recognize that document?
Yes, sir.
And now, is that your signature on the line that is titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Roberts, before you signed and initial all of these documents that your attorney has just showed you, did you read the documents? And did you understand everything that you read?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me state's exhibit number 1. State, you like to offer states 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections?
No objection, states one.
No objection. State's exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Reynolds, you've advised and counsel Mr. Roberts. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No demand.
And Mr. Roberts, your attorney, Mr. Reynolds has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided fully effective and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Roberts, I accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement in this
Yes.
case? And what is that agreement?
In exchange for defendant's plea of guilty, the state's offering 12 days time served to tax and retire court costs. And this is to run concurrent with clause 24 CCCR 0632.
Okay, Mr. Reynolds, the state is offering that you serve 12 days in Jefferson County Jail. You will not have to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail in this case because you've already served 12 days in Jefferson County Jail. Therefore, you'll be given credit for the time that you've already served. The court costs in this case will be taxed and retired. In this case, will run concurrent with the previous case, cause number 24 CCCR 0632. Mr. Roberts, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just? And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Roberts, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Now, Mr. Roberts, before you stand in front of the court coordinator, I need to go over this written admonition on ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. And you should have that document in front of you, and it reads as follows: in accordance with the Texas Administrative Code, Section 176.1, the code hereby admonish you of the following. Number 1, you are by entry of order or judgment ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. Number 2, beginning now, if you possess a firearm or ammunition, it could lead to charges against you. If you have questions about how long you will be ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, you should consult an attorney. Number 3, under Texas Penal Code Section 46.013, a firearm means any device designed, made, or adapted to expel a projectile through a barrel by using the energy generated by an explosion or burning substance, or any device readily convertible to that use. B, firearm does not include a firearm that may have as an integral part a folding knife blade or other characteristics of weapons made illegal by Penal Code Chapter 46, and that is 1, an antique or curio firearm manufactured before 1899, or 2, a replica of an antique or curio firearm manufactured before 1899, but only if the replica does not use rimfire or centerfire ammunition. Statutes listed below are starting point for ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. For more information about the laws that make you ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, or for more information on how long your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition lasts, the court recommends you contact an attorney. Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 17.292, Magistrate's Orders for Emergency Protection. Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 42.0131, Notice for persons convicted of misdemeanors involving family violence. Penal Code Section 46.02, unlawful carrying weapons. Penal Code Section 46.04, unlawful possession of firearm. Penal Code Section 25.07, violation of certain court orders or conditions of bond in a family violence. Child abuse and neglect, sexual assault, abuse, or indecent assault, stalking, or trafficking case. Family Code Section 85.026, warning on protective orders. Now, Mr. Roberts, the written admonition that was given to you is for your records. This will conclude your case. Please stand in front of the court coordinator, follow the directions of the bailiff. Once you finish following the directions of the bailiff, you can follow the bailiff, and you have a blessed day.